Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel if you're new. My name is Haley. I'm a 27-year-old cashless budgeter, recent graduate and caregiver working on a relationship with finances and working towards financial freedom. If that's something you're interested in following, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And let's get into the video. Hey guys, I really am working to, I guess, mentally address some things while doing these type of videos. If you don't know, I've mentioned in previous videos before, the house we're currently in does not have a mortgage associated with it. We basically save up to pay the taxes at the end of the coming year, and that's just our equivalent of rent. So I believe it's at the end of this year and the beginning of next year, there will be property reassessments, which I don't know to what extent you guys know about them, but given the increase in housing prices and it being completely ridiculous, reassessment of properties have also been ridiculous. So we have a notice that it was happening for the property that we are on, and I don't know what the outcome will be necessarily. It's one of those things where, I mean, of course, the unknown is anxiety inducing for anyone. But for me personally, especially when it comes to finances, I like being aware, being in the know, and being as prepared as possible. But at the same time, there's no, I mean, I can work to save, obviously, and I am working to save. But it's really been a trying time mentally to tell myself, like, it's okay. Life happens. You're working hard to save, and you can only do your best. I'm trying not to let my scarcity mindset basically take over. And I mean, if push comes to shove and I have to take out of challenges, I will, but that doesn't mean, and then nobody wants to do that, right? Especially when you see something you've worked so hard to grow. And having that all swept at one time and having to rebuild again. I guess it's just really frustrating because I've already basically started from scratch a year ago when I completely restarted my finances and was paying down debt. I'm still paying down debt, but getting the bulk of it gone required me to empty what I had, basically. And I am definitely not in favor of having to do that again. But I'm trying to keep a positive mindset. I know whether you guys feel this way or have a belief system yourselves, I know that it's going to work out for our good, and that I can't stress about something that hasn't even happened yet. And I know I'm catastrophizing in the black and white thinking. I can see it, I acknowledge that it's happening, but I'm working through it so that it doesn't overconsume me. And I get back into a place of being overworked and constantly stressed and constantly anxious and blood pressure going through the roof every day, and just, not being the best I can be as far as my physical health is concerned. And my mental health directly relates to that. So I'm working on it. I'm working on being better about it. I'm not freaking out right now because there was every inch of me who wanted to just not throw away all of my saving challenges, but basically quit all of them and just focus on taxes and try to get that up as much as possible. And I know that that's not healthy for me. It's not what I want to do. Taxes are a part of my finances, but they're not all of my finances. There are other things and other people and even myself that I have to consider too. So I just wanted to get that out there. If I sound a little bit anxious and or stressed while doing this, because I kind of am, but I'm making myself do it. I'm holding myself accountable to the fact that I can't have these extreme responses, that, every action doesn't deserve a reaction, and not every reaction deserves a response. So I'm working through it. I am anxious. I'm not going to lie. I'm not, because I really am. But I'm going to do this. I appreciate you guys being here and supporting me through this. If you have any suggestions or any comments, concerns, I'm completely open to them. Leaving them in the comments. But I know I just need to work through it. It's fine, and everything will be fine. And it's okay. Okay. So, with that out of the way, I hope that didn't put a sour note on this video. With that out of the way, I'm going to start my actual cash stuffing. So I'd also leave my previous budgeting with me video in the description, but I was able to pull some extra finances for my future home savings binder in order to complete one of my envelopes and potentially start a newer one. So in this binder, and also with feedback and suggestions, I did decide that structural needs and exterior work would be the next envelope I focus on. But with that, I'm actually really excited. Let's go to this side for 1 second, because I think I'm just going to go ahead and condense this while I'm here. I'm just now thinking about it. That Moving Magic can finally join, yes, the little fully funded club that's become this binder. So this is the $500 placeholder. 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 20, 25, 27, 28. So I have 9.28, and I had a total of $82 to add to this binder. So I am going to actually, I am going to just go ahead and put that to the side for right now and put in a $1,000 placeholder. And of course I know I can save more for all of these. My baseline is to try to get 1,000 per envelope and then work them up from there. Again, know it's a big goal and this is a slow, steady progress for a future home, but I still think that it's worth saving towards. It is important to me. There are people out there who have expressed their opinion that they don't think it's smart necessarily to try to save and pay for a house in full. And to an extent, I can agree. Like, I understand if opportunities presented, then I would have very little problem with emptying this binder for that. So long as it's for something like future home. Or whatever the case may be. But just because it may not be the most realistic idea, I may not be able to pay, for a house cash only. Or it might be, depending on where I am in life, might make more sense to get a loan. But I still think it's a goal to work towards. Even if it doesn't come to fruition how I imagine it, I'm still going to try to work towards it. So, with that being said, I had $82 to put in here, right? And I just put 72 in order to, sorry for the crinkling sound. The table's uneven too. You know what? Let me put this off. Okay. And clear that again. I had 82 and I added 72 in order to create the 1,000 I needed for Moving Magic to be fully funded. So that leaves me with $10. Forgot to hit the 2. I know it's supposed to be $10. Mental math. Jeez. So I am going to start out structural needs and external care with $10. Just as a point of reference, some of these I started before really cash stuffing and budgeting, particularly house savings in general. I did not really divide it up into envelopes until October last year. So some of these, they were not fully funded to $1,000. Don't get me wrong. I wish they were. They weren't. But the original goal was to work to $500 per envelope and then build up from there. I just recently increased it, or the goal, to 1,000. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts about that, because the 1,000 per envelope was really to get bigger envelopes. I know I would need immediately, like emergency fund. I wanted to have $1,000 emergency fund in here regardless. Moving, I wanted to have $1,000 just in case with trucks and everything. It's pretty, anywhere I could think of that I would live or buy a house is not, like, I'm not moving states necessarily, so don't expect moving to be that expensive, but I still wanted to have that just in case. And I did want to have renovation money just because I know the type of environment around here in the city. Like I said, most houses are old, salt water. I expect there to be some type of cost, especially when it comes to doing any type of inspections. So part of that money can also come out of renovations too. But anyway, I don't know, especially now and kind of preparing for reassessments, if it's feasible for me to still have this goal of 1,000 per envelope, or if I should lower it to like 500, or 250, or just randomize throughout the rest of these envelopes. Yeah, I honestly don't know. But I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and or input about that. This stuff I was juggling around in my mind, and sometimes having someone who's on the outside looking in, having a different perspective can be very helpful. So, just wanted to put that out there. And again, if you have any comments about that, I would love to hear them in the comment section. So this binder stuffing is done for the moment. And now we get to my actual savings challenges. I am sorry guys, I had to take a breath for a minute. Personal savings, I am going to go through how I use scratch off challenges in order to fill some of these challenges. My emergency fund, let me turn to that very quickly. So I'm still using the monthly scratch off challenge book to do this challenge, but what I've done slightly differently, I guess this time around, to keep up with what I have and have not scratched off, I went through the book and wrote down in pairs for each month the numbers that I've already scratched off from previous use, and I'm just marking off the pairs of numbers each month based on what I've saved thus far. I got the book in July of 2024 and started it for a completely different reason. And some of these were halfway scratched off because I started them. Some of them I haven't scratched off yet. Some of them were fully scratched off, and I restarted the challenge for something else. So I was trying to reorganize it a bit. So what I've done, again, each page is a different month, and I took what I've already scratched off and just paired the two numbers, unless they were a higher number like 50 or in the 40s or 60s or whatever. So that I have a minimum goal to meet every month, and if I surpass that goal, then I just go on to the next month. I have finished, based on where I am now, I have $504, and you'll see in my previous cash stuffing that I got to a fifth of the way done with this challenge. So I've marked off numbers that equate to $504 being done. And so I broke it up into parts so that each section adds up to a different number. And it feels a little bit more manageable. And I don't feel pressure to finish a whole scratch off page or scratch off one every month. Or hold off on any progress if I happen to surpass a number for a month. So this is what I'm using to kind of keep track, keep myself better, keep myself better organized in this regard. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about what I just said and how I'm trying to make this work, leave that in the comments as well. I will happily try to re-explain myself because I don't even know if I'm doing a good job right now. But yeah, so I am still using the book. You may not see the book physically on my channel as much because I have written down numbers I still have to go through. But once I go through those and I have the scratch offs I haven't gotten to yet, then I'll probably have the physical book back on the channel to then do the scratch offs. But I'm still using scratch offs. This is just a different way to catch up with myself again, basically. So let's see. In here, it's $504, and I have $50 to stuff from my check to this one. So putting all of that in there. It's the 500, 50, 52, 54. So 554. And I've already marked off the numbers that correlate with that, by the way. I also don't want to ruin the book for other people, just in case they want to get it and use it as well. So the page has wrestling numbers marked off, and I'll probably update it off camera at the end of each month. So there's that. The property tax challenge. The thing that's causing me the most stress and anxiety right now. Which is cool that it's fine. I am going to tell you guys, because I did this off camera. Okay, backtrack, re-explaining. These challenges, these scratch-offs, I do at the end of the previous month and try to save up and pay off the number the following month. So the scratch-offs I'm putting in money for now are scratches I did at the end of September. And this challenge, you know what? This is why I bought this is probably why I bought the IOUs for TNO budgets, because some of these numbers are brutal. They're absolutely, and I saw it coming. I signed up for this. I literally bought this for this. Oh, sorry guys, earthquake. I literally bought this challenge to give myself a challenge, but the IOUs are going to be necessary. I know. So to re-explain some things, let me grab the challenge real quick. I think that's a different paper. Yeah, okay. So to re-explain this very quickly, I basically scratch off a number the month prior. There are 44 spots on this, so I can't roll a dice, really. I just, Google, hey, pick a number between 1 and 44, and I randomly numbered these, and I scratched it off based on the number that's given to me. So the first number I had on here was 180. No, that's a lie. It was 136. Excuse me. It was 136. I have paid that in full. The next scratch off I had 75. So I had $5 out of my account, in my spending account that I just sent off as an automatic transfer. And today I am paying off the other 70 from that 75. So this is why I have the IOU of 70. And I believe this cloth, yeah, I just ended up keeping a cloth in the back. If I need to wipe this off, or to clean that off. Let's see what's in here at the moment. Excuse me. So I currently have 100, 20, 41, and that includes the 5 from the 75. So adding the 70, I need 211 total in this here. So I'll take, if I can actually pick up things today, that would be fantastic. So that's 200 and a 10 and a 1. So that's 211, and that pays off my IOU for this challenge. So here's where the tears might come, for me. At least it did when I actually did it. And I am going to move these as well over here. So when I scratched off this challenge at the end of September, I got 75. And my ambitious self was like, okay, I can scratch off another number, because if you've seen my recent budget videos, I budget $100 to put for property taxes anyway, just because that's the max number I'll go to save per scratch off. So I said, since this was sub 100, I can just go ahead and do another scratch off and potentially pay it in full next month, and then go ahead and start working on the next number. You guys, I scratched off this 185, and it honestly took the wind out of me. It took the wind out of me for a couple of minutes. I had to get up, reevaluate my life for a minute, and sit back down. Yeah, that is hefty. I was obviously poorly prepared, but that's okay. I'm doing this challenge to challenge myself. And I already knew the big numbers with this being such a large challenge. I already knew the big numbers were there. I honestly don't know why I acted so shocked, but it's neither here nor there. So with larger numbers like this, what I more likely do is either put a full 100 per month into here. But this is, tis the season, Hollow Thanksmas, as I like to call it. So I also know that a lot of my finances will be tied up between now and then, a lot of work and overtime and other things like that coming into play around the season, and days off, and days off and all that jazz. So I know I scratched off the 75 to try to make it and pay it off in November. But what I think I'm going to do mentally is just add these two together and work on them consecutively as one number. So I'm going to take this 185 and add 75. So that is 260. That is 260. Okay, that's fine. Everything is absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is just see what... I just said 260. Okay. I'm going to see where my budget lies, not stress out about it, and just work on it piece by piece until I pay off this IOU and scratch off and continue from there. I cannot speak for it. Usually we get holiday bonuses. I don't know what it'll look like this year if we get one this year, because economically things have been tough. Sorry guys, trying to dry this off a little bit. Actually, I'll leave it out and just make sure I put it in later. So I might use that to top off challenges or top off binders. I haven't 100% decided yet, because obviously I don't even know if it's going to be one or what it's going to look like. But for this challenge, this is one of the things dealing with my own scarcity mindset. Like, I just have to work on it piece by piece and be patient with myself. This is not happening this year, potentially. And again, a lot of people apparently have been applying for reassessments of those reassessments just due to the just sheer amount of inflation and such that's been going on. So we are collectively, for this property, are applying for a reassessment of the assessment, and seeing how that works out. But I can only do what I can, and that's all I can ask of myself. So again, also working on not putting too much pressure on myself and just working through this piecemeal by piecemeal. So that 260, it's a large number. I'm just going to work on chipping at it. Hopefully I finish it by the end of this year, and just keep going, because that's all I really can do. Yeah, so that's that challenge. And now we get to Dream Year. Dream Year is getting 20. I believe the scratch off challenge. Yes, the last scratch off I had was this 20, which I'll be paying for right now and just adding a 20. Let's count first. See where we are. So we're at 50, 70, 75, 77, 78. And this is actually not at 78. This is one of the accounts that gets my automatic saving withdrawals. This one is $2 every week. So technically right now it is at $80. So 50, 70, 75, 77, 78, 80 is at 80. And with me adding 20 to it this time around, it'll be at 100. And I'm just going to, I usually condense my envelopes as I'm going. Just as one of the perks of using prop money is that I can condense as I'm going, but also I'm trying to preserve my envelopes as much as humanly possible. So I try to do that as I go along. And so this would be now $100. First 100. Yes. This is amazing. By the way, I don't include my automatic withdrawals as part of the challenge. I just include it in the total of the envelope. So none of my scratch offs influence any of the automatic savings that go into this envelope. Putting out there. And now, you know what? I forgot to grab these. This is probably so French of me. All jokes aside, I have it's a 50-cent coin that I keep with me. I don't know why, honestly. I guess it's lucky. I guess I can call it lucky. I don't know, it wasn't lucky when I scratched off that 185, but I like to keep it and use it for my scratch off challenges. And I don't have a rhyme or a reason. I'm gonna move this over very quickly. It can go on top of the calculator for right now. I don't really have a system for going through this. But what I do is I scratch off a number and I write it down in my write it down on my budget sheet for the following month. I don't put a date on it, I just put the month number so that I know I haven't fulfilled it yet and that it was from the scratch off challenge. This cracked rainbow challenge, by the way, is from TNL Budgets, as well as the property tax challenge was. And numbers are between 1 and 20, so this one isn't that scary to me. At least that property tax one is kind of scary, but okay. Let's see. Picking a random, I'm just going to go with the bottom row. I guess I'll just go here. And these scratch off are very clean, by the way. They're really nice. It's usually me and my left-handedness that smears the scratch off dust sometimes. I've thought about getting a vacuum, but then my dog will bark at it every time I turn it on, so I don't know if I want that every video. Okay, so 15 will be for next time. And what I do, again, is I get my binder and I turn to the budget sheet, which I've already updated through to today. And let's see, I just grab a pen. So next month is November. I just put an 11 dash whatever date I end up doing this. And I call this the Cracked Rainbow Challenge. Cracked RV. And I put in pencil that I need to add $15. The reason I put this number in pencil is because I might make random transfers from my spending account throughout the month of November. There might be a time during my first check where I have some extra money that I decide to put in here instead. So I like to keep it open and not mark out so much or smear too much. So I keep this in pencil just in case, but I know for the total of the month that I had to put a minimum of at least $15 into this challenge. So I hope that made sense in that regard. So I put this challenge to the side, and the next one is my 100 envelope challenge. Excuse me. So as I said in my binder review video, I am working on filling up all these balloons with a savings goal of $10,000. Each balloon I'm making $100, so it's kind of like an alternative and very ambitious 100 envelope challenge, but I know for sure this is one challenge I am sticking to and that I know I want to complete. This would be for a down payment on my own home or my own future home. I did have a finance and mortgage envelope in my purple binder from the beginning of this video, but I decided just to condense it in this video because push comes to shove, the other envelopes in that binder are more optional to me to get done, but this is non-negotiable, so I'm keeping it in here in my focus binder instead. So with that, I don't think we're going to reach paper stay. Okay, with that, I don't think we're going to reach 100 today, but I am adding $78 to this challenge. Correct, yes. So it'll be a total of, wow, I'm just getting money everywhere. At least the fan's not blowing and wiping off the table. That did happen to me once. I did have to retape one of my videos, but regardless. We're adding 78 to this. So what I've done to condense this challenge is I have the dashboard insert that I made myself for the 100 envelope challenge. We did make it to the first 100 last month, so I put the 100 bill in the front of this envelope, and then I've entered a piece that just says in progress, because once I reach 100 it'll go into the front, and I'll just keep recycling the same and coloring balloons along the way. So right now it just has, so in total it has $110, but for right now in progress it's just $10. And then I'm going to add 78, so that'll be 50, 70. If you hear tippy taps, that's also my dog. So I have, wow, lost train of thought. Okay, 50, 70, 80, 85, and now he's trying to sneak under my desk without me noticing, which is funny because he is huge and you can't miss him. 85, 87, 88. So there's 100, 50, 70, 80, 85, 87, $88. $188 in the challenge thus far. So close to the next 100. Crossing fingers and crossing toes that we get to the next 100 next month. And I get to color another balloon. So exciting. So live for. Okay. And last but certainly not least, my vacation savings challenges. I am using both the fall and winter savings challenges from TNL Budgets. I'm doing fall first, and then we'll work on winter after. So the fall savings is very similar to the Dream Year Cracked Rainbow Challenge. Denominations are 1 through 20. I've chosen the denominations to be 1 through 20. I believe she has different denominations, and you can also get an envelope instead of an insert. I've already had envelopes, so I asked for an insert. For this challenge, and I wrote down, I scratched off a 20 last time. So there should be a total of $38. Math. You guys, my math is so questionable sometimes. I try to get it right the first time, but sometimes the mental math just isn't mathing. Okay, yep, 19, 17 to 38. So scratched off the 19 at the end of September. So that'll be $38 in total. So let's see what's in here right now. It's 10, 15, 17, 18. So be adding a 20. And he realized he didn't fit under my desk very well. Anyway, so there's 20, 30, 35, 37, 38. So now the challenge is all cut up. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, guys. Somebody came home. I was trying to get my dog resettled back down. So where I was, I got the 38 in here. Yep. Okay. So that's cut up for this month, and we'll be scratching off for next month's challenge. Again, there's no rhyme or reason to this. Scratch off wise, I think I'm just gonna go by the sun. And this is $7. Now, I usually budget 16 or 20 every month for this challenge, but since it's a lower priority compared to everything else, especially, I think I'm just going to leave it. I think I'm just going to leave it here at 7. So same with this challenge. I take this is October. And by the way, I do have these in different savings buckets, which is why you see interest as a budget line. I can go in more detail about that when I do my monthly wrap up of how I make interest work. So that'll be the interest, but for next month, November, for the fall scratch off challenge, I have to add a minimum of $7. And again, I can add more I can scratch off another if I meet this goal before then. But I know $7 is my minimum. So that'll be it for my, you know what? Let me put this IOU back into property tax challenge before I forget about it entirely. Because things can go missing off of this desk, I've realized. Very clearly. So that is in there. And yeah, that's pretty much all for this binder. Put my coin back. That is it for this cash stuffing and saving challenge stuffing. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking with me this long. If you made it this far in the video, please leave any money, piggy bank emoji in the comments. I don't even know if we have a piggy bank emoji. So any money emoji, coin, dollar bills, whatever case may be, down in the comment section. Again, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a blessed evening or day wherever you are in the world, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye guys.